Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Mohammed Abdurrahim. And tonight we'll be talking about the economic effect of the Iran-Israel war. Everybody in the region, and I guess in the globe, is happy that the war is over. We hope for good, and it's not just for now, but definitely tension remains high in the region, and the economic effect of the Israel-Iran war will be the topic here on this edition of Business Insider, and also the effects of the ongoing, still, tense atmosphere in the region due to the Israel-Iran standoff and the Israel X or Israel Y or Israel Z standoff, you name it. Of course, the Israel-Gaza war should be the main focus now. And we've heard U.S. President Donald Trump saying that now that the Israel-Iran war is over, he's the one that enforced this. So he's saying that this might serve the cause of also bringing about an end to the Israel war of barbaric war, genocide war against the Palestinians in Gaza. With us here tonight is Mr. Ahmed Kattab, economic expert. He will be shedding light for us on the economic effects of the Israel X, Israel Y, Israel Z wars in the region. Very good evening to you, Mr. Kattab. Thank you for joining us. We'll be focusing on the Israel-Iran standoff. Allow us, Mr. Kattab, and allow us, dear viewers, as we always do in this program, first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, and then we'll come back and start our discussion. Please stay with us.
An open military conflict between Israel and Iran would carry far-reaching economic consequences, not just for the two nations involved, but also for the broader Middle East and global markets. The geopolitical tension between the two countries has always held economic implications, but a full-scale war would disrupt energy supplies, destabilize trade routes, and strain economies already grappling with inflation and geopolitical instability. Iran is a major oil producer, and any conflict that affects its production or export capabilities would instantly send shockwaves through global energy markets. In the case of war, oil prices could spike dramatically, potentially surpassing $120 to $150 per barrel, depending on the scale of disruption. The Strait of Hormuz, through which over 20% of the world's oil passes, could be closed or blocked, creating a bottleneck for oil exports from the Gulf. Regarding the impact on the Middle Eastern economies, neighboring countries in the Gulf states would feel the ripple effects. Lebanon could suffer further economic crisis due to Hezbollah's involvement and Israeli retaliation. Gulf economies may see both risks and opportunities. High oil prices could boost revenues but also heighten military and insurance costs. Neighboring countries may experience disruptions in trade and tourism, along with refugee pressures and currency instability. Foreign investment would likely decrease sharply due to security risks. Regional capital markets also would likely plunge in response to the conflict. Insurance premiums for maritime trade, especially in the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, would surge. Tourism sectors across the Middle East especially would suffer significant losses. Higher fuel prices would translate into global inflation, particularly affecting developing economies already burdened by debt. Food security could be compromised as transportation and trade through the region face delays. Countries reliant on imported energy and food could face social unrest due to the price surges. Iran's economy, already hit by sanctions, would face further contraction due to military spending, damaged infrastructure, and halted oil exports. Western economies, particularly in Europe, could face energy shortages and higher costs impacting manufacturing and transportation. Asian markets, especially China and India, reliant on Gulf oil and trade routes, would have to reroute supplies at higher costs.
Thank you very much, Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdul Hamid, for this report. We're back here in the studio with Mr. Ahmed Kattab, the economic expert. Yes, the Israel-Iran war is over, at least for now, but the tension will remain high. U.S. President Donald Trump says he obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. U.S. intelligence reports say no. It's only a setback of a few months. The Iranians say that much of the enriched uranium has been hidden. The places nobody knows nothing about. The IAEA says it knows nothing about this. Israel also has this claim. So we don't know when this could be renewed. And all of this is, Mr. Kattab, having its weight, negative weight economically on the region, of course politically, socially, and across the board. But the first question I want to ask you here, please, sir, is, in your view, in your opinion, what did Mr. Trump mean when he said that now that the Israel-Iran war is over, it's time to think about Gaza, or this might be good for the Israel-Gaza war? What did he exactly mean?
First of all, in all situations, we should send special thanks to President Trump because he takes the right direction, the right opinion to stop war between Iran and Israel in time. Why in time? Before we have more escalation in the GCC area. In the same time, I'm here to send a message to President Trump. Please, we need the same situation in Gaza. Stop war in Gaza, and please, the negotiation should take place related to Gaza, related to Iran, and Egypt should be involved in the negotiation in order to make a settlement to all the crises in the area. Because in the Middle East, especially, and in GCC area, if there is any kind of problem, Egypt should be involved as a key element and key country in the Middle East, key country in North Africa, and key Arab country have a very strong military force in the area. And our President Sisi sent a positive message in order to all Egyptian citizens. In Egypt is a safe 100% from all over the crisis located in the area. And this is here to support President Sisi, and all Egyptian citizens support President Sisi because he is a very strong leader, and he built a very strong Egyptian military force in order to protect our border and protect our independence in the area. So President Trump stops the war between Iran and Israel. So President Trump is the only leader in the world that has the ability to make a pressure to Israel to stop war in Gaza, and the negotiation and the B2B meeting between the three countries, Iran, Israel, and USA should be involved in the settlement in order to start a new life in the GCC and in Arab and in Middle East, but with a peace. President Trump every second go to social media. The peace process will take place in the world after Iran nuclear power program stopped. Maybe stopped for 1 year, maybe stopped for 2 years, but at least the peace process and the negotiation related to the nuclear power program should take place also. And I think President Trump send a message to Iran: if you want to have a nuclear power, you should under the leadership of USA.
Okay, I'll be back to that, and of course this is the main topic tonight: the Israel-Iran standoff, the ongoing, the continuing standoff, and the economic effect. But I want to go back to Gaza again and pose the question this way. And of course we're talking about Gaza because this is there is a huge humanitarian cause here. This is about humanity. It's not just about that these are, Arabs like us, or people whose lands are occupied. No, it's about humanity. These people are being killed day in and day out for over 600 days now, almost 2 years. Civilians are mainly are the casualty. women, children, war of starvation. Even the aid program, the Israelis are killing Palestinians in distribution centers. I mean, this is incredible. Overseeing the Israelis, overseeing these with the Americans, these distribution centers for food, and they are killing those who are starved to death and looking for food. I mean, this is incredible. So, what did Mr. Trump exactly mean? Did he mean that now that Iran has been weakened? Okay, so I'm going to put it to you: A, B, C, and so on. A, did he mean that now that Iran has been weakened, and now Hamas cannot get the support it used to get, so Israel now can focus on those Hamas terrorists, entre parenthèses, and exterminate more and more Palestinians. So we will enforce peace our way. This is A. B, now that Israel has seen the biggest threat to its existence, entre parenthèses again, Iran and the nuclear program, and that Israel has gotten its revenge from the 7th of October, because everybody knows that Iran was behind Hamas in the 7th of October attacks, their biggest sponsor. So now that they've gotten their revenge and so on, and that Iran has, there's no threat from the nuclear program, now and Netanyahu is victorious, again, entre parenthèses, at the moment, and his popularity inside of Israel because of the Iran war has gone up. So now it's time, to make peace and get back your hostages and so on. That's the B. I don't know of any other potential meanings for his statement, but does he really mean it? I mean, peace, peace. Does he mean it, or does he mean it peace the American way, peace the Trump way, more killing first of all, get back the hostages, and then make the Riviera? What does he mean?
I think President Trump should go to the way of the peace process in the Middle East, and especially between Gaza and Israel, because it's a historical conflict of interest between the two countries. And I think such a war between Iran and Israel will take the way to diplomatic process. And once we have diplomatic process between Israel and Iran, and we have a political situation or diplomatic situation in order to solve the problem, so Gaza will be in the main table in the negotiation. In the same time,
it's not only Gaza, is it? It's about the Palestinian cause.
Yes.
I mean, the Arabs will say this, and much of the world will say that. It's about a path for a two-state solution.
Yes.
This must be the end road for any sustainable peace.
Yes.
So this is the way we think, and much of the world thinks. But is this the way the American president thinks, or does he think the Riviera way? Again, this is the question.
I think it's the Riviera way. It's not accepted by all Arab in the Middle East. And I think after also the more escalation in the area between Iran and between Israel, now Israel lose a lot of majority of all Arab countries like United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Egypt and all Arab in the area. Not like the process Israel take against Palestinian, and also the process taken against Iran, and all the humanity located in Palestinian or located on the Arab area disagree with Israel 100%, and the pressure against Israel to take a lot of operation against Gaza is a very bad economic situation of Israel after Iran war. Because after Iran war, Israel lose a lot more than $50 billion in weapons and in infrastructure destroyed in Israel. And
50 billion?
At least. Direct cost, around 30 billion. Indirect cost related to losses in liquid gas export, losses in tourist sector, losses in infrastructure.
That's the loss over the 20 months or the two, right?
In only last 2 weeks.
Only last 2 weeks?
Yes, the average losses are around 40 to 50 billion US dollars. Related to direct cost, 25 billion US dollars, and the indirect cost related to losses in industry field, losses in tourists, losses in airport shutdown, and losses in liquid gas export to Egypt. A lot of employees leave from Israel to other country, and all the people leave from Israel not come at least after 6 months to 1 year. thousands of Israeli people go abroad.
Well, there's no
Israel.
question that the Israeli community has been, you know, shaken. There is no question about
a lot of
that.
direct foreign investment in Israel will be stopped. Growing rate from Israel reduced from 4% to 5% until to 2%. Budget deficit and GDP losses more than 7%. Inflation rate increased to 30% and 40%. So all this economic losses and the economic crisis.
But the Americans will make this up for them. I mean,
not all, because Mr. Mohammed, also America have great challenge is the economic situation, and the Congress in USA not able to reduce all funds to Israel. We have already Ukraine, and we have already
they will
NATO.
take from the Ukraine and give to Israel. I mean,
but until now, USA should support Ukraine and should support the NATO, and all these expenses make a pressure in the budget of USA also. Even it's a huge budget, but already USA budget have a deficit.
So you think Mr. Trump means real peace and not peace the Riviera way?
I think Mr. Trump go in this way because he need to take the award like Nobel for peace process, and I think he is thinking of this way as a key leader in the world, lead the world to peace, because this is a message repeated in every conference, in every TV interview, in also on social media, and this is will lead Trump to be a key president in the world, and President Trump showing president, he know I'm the only one make a peace process in Middle East, even it's fair enough to Palestinian, but I think he will take this operation in order to make settlement in area. The key country in Middle East, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar, if we're working together to support this way, I think we can make a change against Israel. Because the economic mutual trade between the USA and these three key countries, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, increased this year after Trump visit to Middle East and GCC especially. And the good relation and the good tie between these three key countries with Trump maybe lead the peace to this process, but it will be unfair 100% to Palestine and all the Palestinian citizens, but at least we will stop war and make a postpone to a huge problem related to Al-Aqsa and some different issue, but it will at least stop fire. And
so it's not going to be 100% fair.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, it will. The decision will be against the right of Palestinian citizen and Palestinian independence also. And but in the same time, at least we will stop war, because Israel economically depressed after Iran war, and all
and the 20 months of the Gaza war as well.
No, not like the last 2 weeks.
Really?
The last 2 weeks we have a direct fire against Israel in Tel Aviv and in all areas in Israel.
North, south,
everywhere. And also the infrastructure in Israel destroyed. Even if Israel make a covering by in TV to all those problems, but in social media and we see that the
electricity
damage,
stations.
And also Israel try to all time the very strong country in the Middle East, not like Iran. Iran military more advanced than Israel. Israel without the USA support, it will lose after 2 or 3 weeks. And this is the only country can make a balance is USA as a key country in the world. But till now, thanks to President Trump because he stops the war, thanks to Iran because he accepts, and thanks to Israel in order to start a new peace process situation. If we go back in 1973 in Egypt war against Israel, also the diplomatic way only he solves the problem forever. And until now we have a peace process agreement between Israel, and all of us respect this. Also stop fire between Israel and Iran will lead the Middle East to a very good situation, at least for 2 years.
But do you think the Israelis will respect that deal? I mean, the Iranians said, we will respect it if And as long as the Israelis
Israel will respect. Why? Because the pressure from President Trump. Because Israel, if make anything against stop war in Middle East, Netanyahu not able to cover the war alone. And also the international community like Russia and China and Europe also need to stop the war. Why? Because Iran have oil and the gas offshore, and they have a lot of export to Europe and China from Iran, and the price of
that was a huge economic
by 20%
effect
in the first week, and they will reach to 30% if we take more than 1 month. So the key country in the world needs the very cheap price of fuel and gas from Iran and from the GCC, because if Iran, for example, make a stop operation in the Strait of Hormuz, so the price of export of liquid gas will increase, and the shipping increase, and the insurance will increase. So
we saw insurance triple in the days of the war.
Yes, and I will give you some example. If the price of petroleum increased by $10, the budget of Egypt will affected by $1 billion and $200.
Not just Egypt, of course. I mean, it would have a detrimental effect on much of the world, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And we saw from the Brent price from late 60s, 60 something dollars per barrel, to late 70s, just after the war broke out. And then back again, it dropped after the war ended. And there was talk, as you hinted, that this would go much, much up, and it could reach $100 a barrel if the war had continued.
Yeah, continue for 1 month, for more than 1 month, because also Europe especially have a very cold weather, and the saving of fuel and gas will take operation from June until to September in order to be ready for the winter.
And that's without the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
What if the Strait of Hormuz was closed?
If the Strait of Hormuz was closed, only Saudi Arabia will make a transfer of liquid gas through some station in order to in Fujairah, from Fujairah, United Arab Emirates, or Yamba, I think, port in Saudi Arabia, but it will add the cost of transfer internal Saudi Arabia in order to be reached to the Mediterranean Sea, and will take the Suez Canal corridor or Suez Canal area. Also, the movement of ships in Suez Canal corridor will reduce more and more.
So would there have been any winner if the Strait of Hormuz was closed? Would anybody win?
The international trade in
the Russians? The Russians? I don't know.
And first Russian and China. But also the international trade all over the world will destroy it and will stop. Why? Because 20% of the international trade will go through the Hormuz Strait. So I think after Iran escalation and destroying some stations in Qatar, so it's an example of what we can do in the future if you don't make a pressure in Israel to stop the war against us. This is only proposal about we can do.
But Mr. Kattab, I mean, wasn't just this strike, the Iranian strike on the American base in Qatar, wasn't it just to save face? I mean, that's it. I mean, they informed the Qataris and the Americans, or asked the Qataris to inform the Americans, and Mr. Trump thanked the Iranians. So this was just a safe face, saving measure, wasn't it?
This is only a diplomatic and military message from Iran to USA. I can reach to you in everywhere in the GCC. I can reach to you in United Arab Emirates, in Qatar, in Iraq, in Saudi Arabia, in Bahrain, in Kuwait. So, and President Trump listen to the message and understand what we can go if we make escalation of the war between Iran and Israel.
Okay, everybody knows it was going to be terrible on everybody.
Yes.
But at the same time, the Iranians didn't have any control over their skies. So, I mean, the Americans could have hit harder. Even the Israelis could have hit harder because they had total control of the Iranian skies. So, I mean, it was going to be bad for all, but the Iranians have also been weakened, haven't they? I mean, yes, they have something. Yes, they are a big country. Yes, they have a big military. Yes, it's very difficult to bring their regime down, a very strong one. But at the same time, their skies were totally under American and Israeli command.
Yes, you can say that. In Iran should be first strong as the Air Force defense in all over the border before he start operation in nuclear power weapons or anything. How come you didn't have airplane and you didn't have very strong air defense in order to protect your border and protect your country? But in the same time, Iranian people have a lot of people can fight face to face.
Very true, very true. I mean, but it was not. It was never going to be a ground war because, I mean,
yes, in all over.
The Iranians will know how to defend their country from the ground for sure.
In order to overcome to another country, you should a land war.
Yeah, boots on the ground. This was not going to happen. This was not, and it will not happen.
Yes.
And if it does, I mean, whoever enters Iran will lose. I mean,
And Iran have underground protection area in order to protect all weapons like nuclear power weapons. Until now, we doubt about it's destroyed 100% or destroyed percently. But
this will be the talk in the upcoming weeks, months, and years.
Yes.
How much of their nuclear program was destroyed? Again, Mr. Trump says obliterated. U.S. intelligence reports say it's only a setback of 2 months. The Iranians say we're good, we're fine. So, and we have enriched uranium hidden. The Israelis might catch on that claim to try and target anything in the future. I don't know. I mean, it's not over, is it? I mean, it's not over.
Till now, a lot of TV announcement about it's destroyed or maybe destroyed less, but at the least this will lead us to 1 year or 2 years, and until this take place, we should start negotiation. We now stop war, and this is very good. The second step
before the end of the 60 days of negotiations.
Yeah.
The 60 days hadn't ended,
yes.
and the American strike came, or the Israeli strike came. So if we say we have 1 or 2 years for negotiations, maybe after a few months, if Mr. Trump thinks the negotiations are leading nowhere, isn't this what he said? When I felt that the negotiations were leading nowhere, that's when I decided, and this was the greatest strike in the history of military or whatever.
But I mean, if you go back to the message of President Trump, Iran and Israel have a wonderful future to start operation in many fields, and the both country is very strong enough. I think
but he says a lot. He says a lot of things, but he retracts back also. He makes true on some of his promises, but he also backtracks on many of his.
The government of Iran need to make a process with USA in order to protect to at least
process of trust,
at least process of economic penalty against Iran should be reduced because Iran economically not strong enough to, and I think the leaders of Iran, Khamenei, need to make some reduction of the penalty from America, especially, and from Europe.
The sanctions.
And it will take some, at least from 3 to 6 months in order to take place. In the same time, peace process in Middle East should take the process in order to give Iran to have some air defense more advanced, and also to protect the key leader in Iran, because a lot of key leader in Iran killed by Israel.
Assassinated, yes.
Yes. So the time for Iran is very affected more than Israel. In the same time, Israel citizen not aims to the war to stop, to take operation more and more, because all Israeli people need stability. So let us speak about the future peace, and this is the right direction. And 1 or 2 months, it will be fact if President Trump need peace process in Middle East or just talks in TV or social media. But I am, as Ahmed Kattab, and I'm an economic expert, and I think President Trump make a settlement of peace process in Middle East because it will be good for the USA and good for Israel and good for the area, especially for GCC country in Middle East.
Well, we hope, of course, that
Yes.
your prediction will occur for the sake of humanity, really,
Yes.
before anything else, and those suffering in occupied Palestine. And because this is, I mean, Egypt has been saying for decades, Egypt, this big, huge, powerful country in the region, has been saying for decades that the root cause of any instability across this is the Palestinian cause. So if we find a just solution to the Palestinian cause, independent, viable state, two-state solution, peace, side by side, living in peace, then everybody will be friends. But as long as this doesn't happen, there is no stability in the region.
Yeah, stability will take place in the region after Israel and the Palestinians sit together and they make a settlement of all conflict area related to Gaza or related to Palestinian citizens, and also during this time a lot of subsidies from all over the world should reach to Gaza people and the Palestinian people because all Palestinian citizens in Gaza need subsidies from foods, from medicine, and from everything, because from 1 year a lot of people in Gaza need food urgently, and Israel till today.
And they need freedom as well.
Yeah,
they need
and freedom. Yeah, freedom also.
And if we look back at the Israel-Iran standoff, again it was Palestine, occupied Palestine, the Just Palestinians cause, or Gaza. That was the trigger, because Iran, was behind Hamas, who did the 7th of October, and then the Israelis responded, and then Hezbollah came in to support Gaza, and then Hezbollah were exterminated, and then the Houthis in Yemen came to support Gaza, and they were both proxies of Iran. And so again, it stemmed from occupied Palestine. Yes. So Egypt is right. I mean, we've been saying this for decades. I mean, if you want peace in this region, then there has to be a just solution to the Palestinian cause. There must be freedom for the Palestinians. This is slavery. The Israelis are, treating Palestinians really, especially in Gaza, and in some places in the West Bank, they're treating them like slaves. And the era of slavery is gone. I mean, we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
I mean, this is incredible.
I think Gaza not have weapons enough or military force to protect the area or protect the citizens. So I think the only way Gaza should take is negotiation and the peace process negotiation and the international law firm and the international community also today working according to economic mutual trade between the country. For example, the war between Iran and Israel stopped not only because of the friendship of Iran with the international community like Russia and China, but because of the pressure of the petroleum country like Doha, Amir Tamim, like Amir Zayed and Amir Mohammed Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman make a pressure because it's a mutual trade between GCC and USA and the mutual trade also between Israel and all Arab
You're
countries.
referring again to the energy market and to the Strait of Hormuz. I mean,
Yes.
that would have been deadly for the global economy, for everybody.
Global economy would be affected, but Gaza not have a pressure. Only Hussein make some pressure, but Hussein also.
Well, we saw the Americans make a deal with them, a separate deal with
separate
them.
deal with Hussein. So once a separate deal done, Hussein stopped fighting against anyone.
American interest, at least.
American interest in the area. So I think President Trump showing president, and he looks for peace process like Nobel, and because of this he make a peace process in the Middle East, but it will be fair enough for Palestinian. But in the future, maybe Palestinians have the right, but it will take a couple of years at least. But till now,
We'll take that. We'll take that.
I think
as long as the killing and the war of starvation stops.
But till now, Gaza and Palestinian citizen people not have more pressure against Israel to stop the war. So the international community should make a settlement in the area, but it needs some support from Egypt, some support from...
Isn't it just kind of amazing, really, and kind of surprising that the Palestinian resistance, and we saw what happened yesterday, is still causing major damage. I mean, we saw like 7 Israeli officers or soldiers killed yesterday. 7? I mean, that's a big number in one day. I mean, and after all of that, after 20 months, I mean, everybody thought the resistance in Gaza was like obliterated. But now the resistance still exists after all of this killing. So when will the Israelis realize that as long as they occupy the lands of others and treat them like slaves, they will respond. They will resist. And they will cause casualties.
We can see Israel will take a lot of land in order to make another borders, in order to make a safe area between all Gaza and the Palestinian citizens and Israel as a country. Because once he take more land, it will be safe enough. And this land also is very rich, especially if it's in front of the Mediterranean Sea. And I think Israel able to do this by supporting from the international community. We please take into consideration international community support Israel, like Germany, France, United Arab Emirates.
But any piece of land they will grab, Mr. Kattab, they will find resistance in any piece of... So they will never get peace, as long as they are land grabbers.
Israel have a very strong military force to protect the border. And you can see this in last war between...
With U.S. intervention. With the U.S. intervention.
Till now, USA support 100% Israel. And this is the message President Sadat said to all the Arab world and Arab community in 1973 war. After
99% of the cards are in the hands of America.
President Sadat said to all the world, I'm fighting USA, not fighting Israel. Because Israel support all time, USA support all time Israel by weapons, support economically, support secret intelligence.
And the UN Security Council.
So till now, I think Iran go to Putin to support, and Trump sent a positive message to Putin, please keep the negotiation between me and you related to our country, not to third party. So because of this, till now, USA is still #1 is a military force, and till now support 100% Israel, and the international community, Europe, France, Germany, till now support Israel against Iran and against...
So the only way we're going to get peace if the Americans are convinced and impose it.
If the all Arab country make a pressure to America to make a settlement, it will be unfair 100% settlement. But as Ahmed Kattab and as Egyptian, I will say the message of Prince Sadat: please accept part of your right until you have the ability to take all your rights. You get my point? You will take a piece of land better than you will take nothing. If Palestinian citizens sat together with Egypt in 1973 negotiation with Israel under the leadership of America, the situation better than today 100%. But I think you should have some international analysis related to the very strong and very country in the world before you take operation. You have the right, already you have the right, but you don't have military force to take your right. So please take the process of peace process and diplomatic way in order to take part of right until you will have a military force and you will have an international community support you. Nothing of international community support Palestinian, even some Arab country in the area not supporting in fact Gaza.
That's very unfortunate.
Support only by some subsidies, some words in the TV, movie.
That's very unfortunate and very inhumane.
Country support Palestinian, Egypt, supporting by some protection and supporting in the international community, in Arab League, in all international conference with Sisi. About the right of Palestinian.
But world public opinion is changing, and maybe this this change in world public opinion, the public opinion that realized that Israel is not this poor victim, but actually is this ugly monster, and they have a prime minister who's a war crime suspect. He's wanted at The Hague. So maybe this change in world public opinion will have its effect one day. Hopefully soon.
Palestinians need international media, speak about the right of Palestine in the Middle East, and also need a lot of diplomatic people working together with diplomatic ambassadors in all over the world to send a key message about Palestinian rights in this land. President of Israel of Gaza showed strong the tie and relation between the Arab area in the GCC and all key Arab countries in order to support the Palestinian, not only supporting by some money, but supporting in all international community meeting. Also the key country like China, like Russia should also support Gaza, but all these key countries in the world looks only about the economic mutual trade, some benefits. I think no one can support you for your our victim. A lot of victims all over the world, even not Gaza, and all over the world we have a victim. But if you don't have your military force and your national security and your strong relation with international key country in the world, you will not find support. For example, Israel have international support.
I'm sorry, we're out of time, but we of course do understand this point. I personally wish that the support would have been for the cause of humanity, because I still cannot grasp and believe what is happening. What is happening is this is the worst massacre, maybe the worst massacre in the history of mankind. What's happening to Palestinians?
Human Rights Association should support Gaza, and all the international community should support Gaza, but we need some effort in this fight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed Kattab. Always a pleasure to have you with us, and thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. Please stay with Nile TV.